Right. Wait till you're 30, 40 years down the line, and then we'll see how your rainbows and unicorns doing. You know
Right.
what I mean? It's a lot of work, and it's not just this happy-go-lucky thing. And I think that a lot of times, especially women of Amanda's age, tend to think that women of our age are steeped in the ways of the patriarchy, and
Yes.
That's so true. It's
the
so
whole
true.
the whole thing. Meanwhile, no, we're Gen X. No,
No.
you know what I mean.
You don't F with
we
us.
just know when
Right.
know when to let shit fly and when to bust your balls. We know how to. We've been at this game for a long time. We know what we're doing. That's why she should really take a little more advice from these older women who have been through it. They're not all out there like, the poor man. That's not what they're saying.
No.
And that is not
No.
how Gen X women roll at all.
No.
No.
No, because even Sutton said, and I thought this was another perfect example. Sutton said, listen, like, you can reverse it with me. Like, look at myself. Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
Kelly.
And I'm Lori.
We are talking about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 15, Reunion Part 1. Actually, before we do that, we're going to do our call to action. Please head over to YouTube and hit the subscribe button and tell your friends. And thank you for everyone who has already subscribed, because we are growing our subscribers on YouTube, and we appreciate you.
And Instagram.
Instagram, too. That's fabulous.
I'm getting more interaction on Instagram.
Yeah, that's great.
Nice.
My overall thought for the reunion was it wasn't a bad first part of the reunion. That was my overall thought. Normally, the first part is like not so great. Before we get into it, what was your overall thought of it?
I'm kind of surprised at some of the things I saw online. Like, a lot of people were like, Andy is so over Dorit. I didn't get that impression at all.
I saw a lot of that too. That he just
Like,
can't
people are
stand her.
saying that. I didn't. Maybe that comes in the next episode, but I
didn't see that.
I didn't get the impression that Andy's over Dorit. I do think that Andy tries to not let her talk too much, just because she can obviously go
She's
on
wordy.
and on.
Yeah,
Yes,
she
she's wordy.
rambles.
So I think he tries to stop that. Yeah. But I didn't think he was annoyed with her at all, or yeah.
I didn't
was
get
good,
that
though.
impression either. I thought it was overall, I thought it was good. So we start out with actually Dorit was not the last one on the set. It was Amanda.
Yeah.
I actually
What did you
was
think of
thinking
the
about it.
set, Laura?
It's all right.
See, I liked it.
You did?
I did
It's
too.
all right.
The
I
iconic
don't know if
Rodeo
it was
Drive.
the whole Pretty Woman of it all. Like,
Yeah.
see that and I think of Pretty Woman, but I liked it.
Yeah, it's all right.
I did too.
It was a better set than some that I've seen. That's
Yeah.
for sure. That's for sure.
I mean, I liked it also because, like, they could have done the whole, Italy thing like they keep doing lately. Like, they decorate the set according to what
The
trip
trip, right.
they
The
went
cast
on.
trip,
But
right.
yeah, but I like that they just kept it LA, Beverly Hills,
Yeah,
throw down.
absolutely.
But now Dorit walking in with someone holding her train was just way too much.
Did
That
you
was
see
too
her
much.
shoes?
No,
Did you see her shoes when she was walking in? She
They
had
look like
platforms
platforms.
like this, and she was like kind of doing like a little kind of waddle, like she could barely, like I
walking in?
guess.
But somebody holding her train, I was like, girl, no. Stop. No, stop it now.
Well, she
Stop.
probably didn't want to trip over it with those big old platforms.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
just, I mean, women have walked with long gowns for a long time. You simply
Pick it up.
gracefully pick it up. Yeah. And how about bows? 74 pounds. And it's so much prettier up close.
Yes, it is. Yes,
But
it
Yeah.
is.
she's running a close
Actually, I
second.
think all of them were. All of them were nicer up
Much
close.
pretty, right, up close. But Bose is just a couple pounds shy of Jennifer's 80 pounds for her gown. Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's a lot of
I
poundage.
can't even imagine.
A lot of poundage.
Yeah, I can't imagine either. So Andy starts out by saying hi to Rachel, and then everyone's obsessed with her boys. And Andy asked if Skylar has bought any Hermes bracelets for any girls, and she's like, no, I told him he's not allowed to do that unless he asks me.
Now, he
And we
only
find out
bought
that,
her one, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, who else would he buy it for?
That's what I was a little surprised that Andy asked if he bought any girls
Well,
an
because
Hermes bracelet. I'm like, he bought it for his mom. Like, it's not
right,
like
but
the little kids out there making it rain with Hermes bracelets. Like,
no, but when he did buy it for her, Rachel had said
She
to
said,
him,
she
"Now
said that
look,
to him.
you just don't go buying girls this, don't
got it.
just be buying any chick the
A
bracelet."
bracelet. Right,
Yeah.
right. She also said, because they asked, I think Kyle said, was it his allowance? And it was his bar mitzvah money, right? I think
Yeah.
she said bar mitzvah,
Yeah.
which I thought that was nice. And then he welcomed Amanda to her first reunion and wanted to know what she was going to be manifesting today. And she said, well, myself, to say the truth, maybe have some fun. Oh, to be myself, say the truth, and have some fun. Okay.
Well, reunion ain't about fun, girlfriend. So there's your
Mm.
first clue.
Well, yeah, there you go. Then he welcomes for the first time Sutton Brown to her first reunion.
Yeah, that was cute. I liked that.
I did too. I did too. I like that he, gave her that intro. And then he asked Erika how she was doing and how the DJ was going. And she had just spent 2 weeks in Australia DJing, which I actually didn't know that. I knew she was DJing, but I didn't know she was in Australia the past 2 weeks. Then Bose comes in. He said, let's see the ring. And, we get a close up of the ring.
Very pretty.
And she said, Bose right away said, I have one request. For my Beverly Hills wedding, Erika, will you DJ it? And I was like, where did that come from? I was very shocked to see that she did that.
Me too.
Well,
I mean, I think that they are chummy.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a good call. I'm sure that of all the DJ people out there, I would imagine that Erika probably is a very good DJ.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that, but I mean,
Okay, well,
I just think it's like the
I
new
just think
midlife crisis.
yes, but I do think there's just, for some reason, I just think that she would probably be a good DJ.
She would probably put the time and effort into actually learning how to do it. Whereas Meredith Marks is just a statue up there and somebody
now,
else
to
is
me,
making a mix for her.
right,
That
to
I
me,
agree with.
Meredith Marks is a horrible DJ.
Yeah, I mean,
But
she's not even doing it. She's just like
no,
a
but
statue up there. But Erika probably has taken the time to actually
right,
learn how to do it. Yeah.
and has probably good energy and gets into it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like I could see her
I
being a
definitely
good
think
DJ.
she has the
She's
energy.
not going to be up there like this,
No.
like Meredith.
No.
Well, according to Trish Rance, none of them are real DJs. They don't even have the right equipment. They're up there
Probably
faking
not.
it.
Right, they're faking
I
it.
think he actually said something positive about Erika, though. And
Really?
Kyle. He has said positive things about Kyle Cook as a DJ, believe it or not. Yes. But
That's
I got to look
interesting.
back. I think he actually said something positive about Erika. But not Dorinda, not Meredith Martin, not the rest of them.
I don't remember where, but he's DJing this Saturday night, and somebody famous is DJing right next door to him.
I
and
would really
cannot
like to go see him DJ.
I would too. I
Yeah.
cannot remember who the famous person was that was DJing.
It ain't gonna be this
right
weekend,
next
I'll
door.
tell you that.
No, I'm not going there this
Lori
weekend
is
either.
otherwise busy.
Yes.
Yeah. Then he says hi to Dorit. Great to see you. That's all he does there. And then Kyle, he lets her know that she is officially Bravo's longest running consecutive housewife across all franchises. That is a very long ass title.
I'm going to tell
Very
you,
long
I have
title.
something to say about this. Because
No,
I think
really?
that is I think that's a very big accomplishment. However, had New Jersey not taken this 2-year pause, it would have been Teresa.
Oh my Lord. Don't
Because
let me
New
fall off the
Jersey
chair.
came out in 2009. Beverly Hills came out in 2010. So had Jersey aired last summer like it should have,
She would have
it
beat her
would
by
have
a
been
year.
Teresa.
There you go. And although Tamara has been a housewife for more years, she had 2 years off, so she was not a consecutive housewife, which is why it had to have such a long ass title.
Right. And credit to Kyle and Teresa where credit's due. They are original to the franchises. Tamara didn't come on until season 3. So I don't care how many years Tamara's on. She gets no accolades from me. But yeah, when Andy said that about Kyle, I'm like, no, there's no way. It's got to be Teresa. But then when I looked into it, it's because of that 2-year break or Teresa would have had it.
There you go.
So Bo said she deserves an applause, and they
Yeah,
all applauded
for
her.
sure.
I don't know. you saw the look on Dorit's face because she wouldn't even crack a smile.
She did clap. I did notice that. She did clap when they all started clapping.
It was a little, yeah.
But I got to be honest with you. I felt like every time Dorit's name was mentioned, Dorit walked in, Kyle had that stank look on her face. She had
I felt like Dorit had it
bitchiest.
on hers.
I feel like
Maybe
they
they
both
were
had
doing
it.
it to each other, and
They
I only
both had
noticed
it.
Kyle.
Yeah.
I noticed both of them. Both of them.
I thought they both had it. I totally
They
agree.
both had it. And I don't think that they're friends.
No, they're
No.
definitely not. They're definitely not.
And it does lead you to wonder, were they ever?
That's what I'm saying to you. That's what I'm saying to you.
Was it really just a Mo PK friendship? And then that's why they filmed together so much, because Mo and PK got along so much. So when they were filming the show, they were like, well, obviously we're going to spend time with each other because our husbands are filming with us and they really like hanging out with each other.
Yep, I think that's exactly it.
I do too.
And then
the illusion was that they were very close friends.
No, I think that probably, I would imagine that Dorit probably thought they were closer friends than what they were. I think as soon as a divorce came out, Kyle was PK's side and that was it. And it was all over.
I agree.
That's why it's so annoying, the whole, I'm so concerned about you. I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, because
And
in
I'm not a
one breath you're
housewifey
saying we
person.
weren't really friends.
Right. And now
And she's been saying that for quite some time now.
right. And now all of a sudden you're so concerned.
What are you so concerned about if she's not really your friend?
Well, listen, I think that I agree that I don't think that they were really that close of friends, but you can still be concerned about somebody that you're a coworker with that you've been working with for the past, how many years has she been on? 9? How many years has Dorit been on?
But the thing is that I just don't buy it with Kyle because she's close with PK and so is Mo. So I
don't think that Kyle is close with PK though. I think that Mo is close with PK. I don't think Kyle is hanging out with PK.
I don't think she's hanging out with him, but she's at least telling Mo things and Mo's telling PK things. And that clearly came out in the reunion.
Well, I'm not saying that didn't happen, but Mo is, even though he's her estranged husband, he is her confidant. Like, they are in a good place.
So
They're having an amicable relationship.
If you were still concerned about Dorit, why would you tell Mo things knowing he's going to go tell PK and it could damage Dorit's custody, divorce?
Blah, blah, blah. I mean, I could see if that was a situation, and I could see that being true if Dorit was really doing something that, if I myself was working with someone or pseudo friends with someone and they were doing something that was concerning, I don't find anything that Dorit's doing as being concerning. The reality of, especially when it comes to the financial situation, you and I, the three of us talking or thinking about like a foreclosure is a big thing. This is not that kind of money. This is the FU money. Even when you're broke, it's a totally different money than you and I. They will not, I can guarantee you, PK is not going to get current on that mortgage. He's going to let it go into foreclosure. He's going to do bankruptcy. And then he'll just start a new LLC, buy a new house for her, and start all over. It's how they roll. It's not like her measly $4,000. She can spend whatever she wants because they're going to go bankrupt. And it's not a big deal. To us, it's a big deal. It's a totally different, I just think it's a totally different gig.
I agree with you. And her saying, when Kyle made the comment to her that, we have very different financial situations, that was very, you might want to pick on someone with that whose wallet matched.
Absolutely.
Comment.
Just said nicer.
That was low. That
just
was
said nicer.
Very, very low.
Just said nicer. That's all. But like I said, if Dorit was engaging in some kind of behavior, she's late. She's always been fucking late. She's spending money she's always been spending money that she doesn't have.
Obviously.
Other than that, what's she doing?
Right. The topic of PK and Dorit's finances have always been apparent. I mean, Camille Grammer's been saying it for years. Like, for sure, she's been spending money that she might possibly not have. And she's always been late.
So other than that, I don't see what all the harp is about, and that's my point. It's not like I'm some big Dorit fan. I don't care about this show at all. I'm
Right.
just saying
Or
what
the
I
people in
see.
it.
I actually think that, the whole thing that Dorit has made such a big deal about it that it's consumed every conversation and every thing. I think that she made it a bigger thing than it needed to be. Like, if she just let it go and didn't bring it up every single time, like, that's why it was talked about every single episode. Like, the more you talk about it, the bigger it is.
Well, I think because every time she and Kyle were together, the status of their friendship was questioned. So Dorit felt the need to say, this is why our friendship is where it is. And then Kyle, defends herself. So I think
don't
it
know.
was
I mean, they brought it up in every circumstance. They sitting down at
right.
dinner,
But
it
I
gets
don't
brought up,
think
like,
Dorit
every
brought it up.
time. Oh,
I don't
yes,
even
Dorit.
think Kyle brought it up every time. I think everybody else was like, so are you guys good? Like Sutton at the Studio 54 party, like, you owe Kyle an apology. Like, if everybody would have just backed off of it, maybe we could have had a different storyline this season.
Well,
Quite
I think that
honestly,
that's
this
the
was the
fact is
only storyline this season.
this and Amanda and
Imagine
how
if we
annoying
didn't
Amanda
have
was.
this.
Right.
Yeah, and Amanda.
And
Right.
it's really a shame because I think there should have been a much bigger emphasis placed on Erika's situation. I think that that's a really important thing to discuss. I think there could have been more emphasis on Sutton's situation. That's a really big thing. Your ex-husband is marrying, is now with some friend of yours that your kids grew up together and all your kids are leaving. Now you're going to be all by yourself. Like that's a big deal. Like those are
For sure.
big deal things
Definitely.
that could have
They
been
definitely are.
a
Yeah,
focus.
I agree. And I don't think, I'll be honest with you, I don't think it was Sutton not opening up about it, and I don't think it was Erika. I mean, I think in this reunion, Erika really opened up. She was very vulnerable. She was, in my opinion, like trying to give good advice, specifically
Yes.
to Amanda.
Yes.
And, I just think that I personally think it's the way it was produced. I think that they choose
Yeah,
to
it's got to be
produce what they want.
production. Yeah, it's
So
got to
what
be.
they want to show, because even the fact that, they all of a sudden show us the scene where Rachel and Kyle and Dorit are in the Hamptons, and Rachel says to Kyle that she was worried about Dorit. She was missing for 45 minutes at the club. I would be worried about my friend too. And that was a point that Kyle was making. Like, I didn't go to her and say that, but they don't choose to show us that when they know that this is the whole conversation that's going on the whole season. That was a calculated move by production. That was calculated. Like,
Yeah.
this is,
I mean,
and,
even when Kyle was like, somebody please say something, nobody did. Crickets.
I mean, even
Yeah.
on the reunion when she asked that, no one was piping up.
So on the reunion, when Dorit was asking each person individually, did you say something to Kyle? Did you say something to Kyle? Did they see that package? Because Andy never addressed, like, it wasn't really addressed.
Nope, wasn't addressed.
Like,
She
that
only
made no
got
sense to me.
she asked Amanda and she got to Sutton. Amanda
Was like, no.
responded. Sutton, I don't even think had a chance to respond before they were
Nope.
on to something else.
Yeah.
Right. Which is also what kept on happening. Like, you'd ask Dorit a question and then she'd start to answer it, but she never really answered any questions. It was
Well,
just like,
I honestly thought she kept getting cut off. Honestly, listen, I know people are going to say that I'm Kyle bashing. I'm trying not to. I really am. I felt like every time, and I know Dorit can be long-winded, but I felt like every time Dorit went to talk, Kyle would cut her off. Like, I felt like Kyle was extremely defensive. And to me, when someone is extremely defensive, I feel that it screams guilt.
and I felt like Dorit was defensive.
Shape, or form. I felt like every time Dorit tried to say something, Kyle cut her off and got that face. I've never seen Kyle with that face so much than this season. She's just so angry. And again, I don't think it's about Dorit.
And
I don't know.
I feel totally opposite of you. I feel like Dorit is the angry one. I feel like Dorit is always on the defensive because even when they were talking about what happened with Erika, where she questioned what Erika was, you're going through stuff. I mean, are you
Well,
kidding me?
that was rude. That was like, what are you?
I thought Erika
And she
handled
still
that
didn't.
very eloquently.
Yeah, but
I
Dorit still
really
didn't
did.
own it. She still
did
didn't.
not.
That's what I'm saying.
You're right. She did
I
not.
think
But
absolutely.
I
Erika.
thought Erika handled that very well. She was like, listen, we had definitely had conversations about it. You knew about it, but I don't expect you to know what's going on every single day. I really thought that she kind of she pretty much let Dorit off the hook for that.
She did. Yeah.
Because it was a ridiculous thing for Dorit to say.
It
You're
was
going through
absolutely-
shit.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
absolutely
ridiculous.
was. It absolutely
listen,
was.
nobody's going to deny Dorit is an extremely self-centered person.
Absolutely.
But I think when she gets angry, it's because of what Kyle said on national television that can directly hurt her custody and divorce. It can. 100% can.
And that's what I'm saying. If there was some kind of behavior that she was doing that warranted somebody saying something like that, well, okay, it's still not a good idea to say it on TV. But
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just how I see it.
Let's jump over to
Let's
Rachel.
move on, though. We're beating this one.
I know. Andy asks Rachel, we meet her when she's undergoing a lot in her life on the Housewives, a home undergoing a lot in her, going through the divorce and, her living situation and the situation with Roger. And Andy said, is there any part of you that wanted to get back at Roger? Is that why you came on the show? And she's like, no, like not even a little. Like she never thought of that. And I thought to myself, that's a very strange question.
I totally agree. I thought that was a very odd question. Get
Yeah.
back at him for what? I mean, I guess at this point, do we just assume he was cheating on her or whatever it is, it is?
Yeah, I mean, she even said, like, although they're getting the divorce now, the relationship had been over for quite some time that they weren't really connecting, right?
Yeah, so like get at him how? By, I mean, I guess
Yeah. I
saying
don't get
certain
that.
things that were going on, but she's on a reality TV show. And like we've already pointed out, he had to agree for those kids to be on. So
Absolutely. He sure did. He sure did. And then Andy said, well, what has he had to say? Like, has he watched it? And she's like, well, no, he's heard things. And she also, which I thought, she said, there was actually some very bad things that went on that summer we were filming that I could have said a lot more and I didn't say.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
Did say that.
okay, well, why are you doing that then? Because, all right, you're going to go that way? Erika asks her if she regrets, like, do you regret being open? Because Andy said, I was surprised how open you were. And she's like, I don't regret it because, she means it. The truth is painful sometimes. And Bose chimed in. She's like, I think it was great. I think that, you talking about it will help other people, which again, I agree with that. She's not
And
the only one to have a
herself.
difficult, right.
And herself. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And we find out the divorce is not resolved, but soon. Then Andy says, any chance of you having a relationship with the girlfriend?
Another weird thing to ask. Like, no.
I was like,
when all of them, like almost in unison, were like, are you okay? I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
I was like, what is wrong with him?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was
And then
kinda
he
crazy.
asked about her parents. Her father, she said, still can't talk. It's hard for him. But her mother, still sees him as the father of her grandchildren and that they actually were down in Miami. And she said, invite him over for dessert. And he came over, spent time with her and her family and her kids. And it went well. He was there with another
friend. Yeah.
not the girlfriend, a male.
I have to say, so I have two sisters who got divorced, and Eric has two sisters who got divorced. Actually, three. Eric has four sisters. And shout out to his oldest sister, Laura, because she's married 50 years. God bless them.
Shout out to Laura.
Shout out
Happy
to Laura and
anniversary.
Huge.
50
Yep.
years. Woohoo.
50 years.
Yeah, my parents are
But-
married 50 years.
Nice.
My parents
Eric
were
and
married
I
60 years.
never chose
60, wow.
sides with any of our sisters' ex-husbands. We never cut ties with any of them. And, that didn't go over well with some of the people in the family. However, it has been so long now, so many years have passed. I am so happy that we did that because the exes are all on good terms now. Thank God, because they all have children. And had we picked sides, it just would have caused issues that Eric and I don't need to deal with. You know what I mean?
No.
Well, it
Like,
all
right.
depends on the situation too. Like it all depends on the situation.
Percent, but now you go to holidays and the exes are there, and you know we can just walk in and act as if how we've always acted.
Right.
So I'm sure it's very difficult for her father because that man hurt his daughter. But
And was like a son to him. I mean, he was in
Yeah.
Rachel's life for a long time. He was like, and I don't think Rachel only has a sister. She doesn't have a brother. So he
Yeah.
literally was a son to him.
But if you can move forward and not, have that animosity, it's only going to benefit you in the long run because eventually they have young kids. Eventually they are going to be okay. And then you're going to feel okay because you just never had, you never made beef with this person.
Yeah. Then it comes out about Rachel and this guy that she's dating that she's been photographed with on the red carpet. Find out his name
She
is
was
Sasha.
funny with her.
Yeah. We're just friends. We're just friends. He's tall and handsome, but we're just friends. And then it came out that what he does for a living, what did she say? He's
He
more
does
like
what
a
Amanda
mind.
does.
She said it's more like a mind body alignment, basically getting people back into a place of center, forgiveness, things like that. I'm not a client. Like she doesn't know what he does, basically is what she
Right,
said.
right. Yeah.
But it
He's a
does sound
friend.
like he does something very similar to Amanda.
I think I remember reading though that he's more like I think he's like a relationship counselor kind of thing.
It's probably an in-person thing. I don't think he's selling,
No, he's not selling courses. No, I think he's
right.
some
I don't
kind
think
of
he's selling
counselor.
courses.
No,
Right.
he's some kind of counselor. Yeah.
And then the next thing Andy winds up, and this one got them all laughing, with a husband in prison and a $25 million lawsuit on the horizon. Like, what kind of windup is that?
Poor Erika.
That was some introduction.
My
I mean, you didn't have
gosh.
to really think too hard about who he was talking about.
No, you knew right away.
No. I mean, he really, after decades of walking on thin ice with Tom, a new gentleman in her life melted the Ice Queen's heart. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little much.
Come
And
on.
how about
Yeah, that's a little dramatic.
Yeah, how about
Yeah.
Rachel's pre-engagement cheat was only a kiss?
We knew
What?
that though.
What did
I
she
don't
say?
know why. So there were a
pre-engagement
couple of things
cheat,
on
remember?
Peacock that weren't on.
Oh, I didn't watch it on Peacock. Okay.
Just
So
a couple
what was
of
on
things.
Peacock?
But this might have been on the DVR where Kyle brought up. Oh, maybe not. Maybe this was just on Peacock. Now that I think about it, Kyle brought up how she cheated and then she got a diamond. And
Right, they went back to Kyle's confessional where Kyle said, "Well, I don't think that's a great way to start out a marriage. Oh, I cheated on you and the next day you give me a diamond and we get engaged." Cuz Rachel said that she fooled around with somebody right before they got married.
Right. Okay, yes.
But she clarified that fooling around was just a kiss.
Okay.
But I swear I thought she was very clear about that during the season. I don't know
No, I
why
don't think
Kyle
she-
and
no.
Erika were under the impression that she had sex with this person.
She could because she didn't. She was not clear.
She didn't
She
clarify.
said fooled around.
She
said
definitely wasn't
fooled
clear.
around.
Because I remember you and I, the three of us had this whole conversation, and I kept saying, well, what is fooling around? And I said, what if it was just a kiss?
Right.
Mhm.
Because we had this whole
it
thing. Like,
definitely
it wasn't
depended
clear.
on the level of intimacy.
Right.
It
Yeah.
wasn't clear.
Well,
It
so
wasn't
now
clear.
it is. It's just a kiss.
It was just a kiss.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad to hear that. And, Andy also brings up about, Erika opening up about her DV. And he starts out by apologizing to her for having to go through that. And, he said, why did you want to share that? And she's like, well, I held it for a long time. I don't know that if Denise wasn't talking, like if Denise wasn't there talking about it, I don't know that I would have shared it. The fact that, and the interesting thing is she's the one who brought it up to Denise because of the black eye. Like she
Yeah.
said to Denise, I saw the black eye. Listen, I'm glad that she brought it up. It is a good topic. People should not be afraid to call 911 to get the help that they need. It is, and you would think someone like Erika, of all people, because she comes off as this tough woman, wouldn't have to go through this, but it just shows you it can happen to anybody.
Happen to anybody.
Yeah.
So was Tom emotionally abusive?
Yes.
I
Okay.
think
I
Tom was
didn't
very
watch it, so
emotionally
I don't know.
abusive.
Okay.
So
Oh, yeah.
there's one scene in her first season where she hosts a dinner party and Lisa Rinna's there and that woman Catherine's there and I think her husband and Lisa
I thought it was
Vanderpump and
LVP. Yeah.
LVP
Because it
was
was
there.
LVP.
Yeah, they were all there. And they're in the middle of a conversation and Erika goes to say something and he very sternly, almost like a father, was like, Erika, I'm in the middle of speaking. Something to that effect. And that was the first time you got a glimpse. It didn't happen often on the show at all. However, you saw it then. And when they talked about it on the reunion, you could see Kyle and Dorit, because they must have seen a lot more.
Right.
Were both shaking their heads like, yeah.
Now, I have another question. She said he was financially abusive to her. What does that mean?
He would hold
I'm
money over
sure-
her head.
Right. I'm sure,
She
he,
did-
if she
yeah.
wanted something or, it was.
Okay.
But yeah.
I
He
mean-
held
Oh,
it
okay.
over her head.
She said one time for 6 weeks he didn't talk to her living in the same house. I mean,
She
that's
didn't
crazy.
say why though, right? Or we
No.
didn't know why. Right.
She
Yeah,
didn't say why.
Yeah.
She didn't say why. She said as sweet as Tom can be is as vicious as Tom can be. And I could see that with him. I could see that
Mhm.
he would, and then she's at now looking back, she's like, I don't even know. Like, was that just an act when he was being nice and he was acting like the doting husband? And I think she's realizing it probably was because he didn't go see her on Broadway. He didn't read her book.
Yeah.
When
Andy said if there was one question you could ask, what would it be? And she says, why? And then she pauses and she
Mhm.
says, why did you throw me out like that? I don't think that's what she was going to say. I think she caught herself. I think there's another why question she would have asked. Like, why the fuck did you lie about the money you had? Why would you act as if we had it like that and we didn't? And why did you steal money from those victims to carry on a lifestyle that was unnecessary and we didn't need to be living?
Right,
I mean,
but she
I don't
can't
know
say
if that's
that.
what she was going to say, but I don't
Right.
think
I
why
kind of
did
felt
you
like
throw
she
me
was
out
going to
like
say
that?
something like that too.
Yeah. I don't think that was really the question. I think she caught herself.
Yeah, because she really can't
by
say
saying
anything
all
like
of
that, right?
you're implicating not guilt on her part, but you're implicating guilt on his part.
His part, right.
thought she really did feel like she was discarded. Because she's said many times, and I think she really did love Tom. I think she
Yeah,
really
but
did
Wendy,
love Tom.
he didn't kick her out of that house.
Well, I know he didn't kick her
Remember?
out of the house, but the situation is what made her
Why
leave.
did you throw me out like that? Throw you out when? He didn't throw you out. It doesn't make the question doesn't make sense. He did not throw her out of the house. He
No, she left.
to go to court and she packed her shit up and left.
Yes, she did pack her stuff up and leave. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like
Yeah.
she was going to say something else too.
For sure.
She should have just left it at why. And
Right.
then we could have all
Right.
been guessing.
It
Right?
would have been more dramatic, quite honestly.
Yeah, I think so too. Then Andy asked, like, what happens if, worst case scenario, like you lose the lawsuit and you have to pay the 20. She's like, well, I guess I could fight it in court and they're all like, file bankruptcy. Whatever's going to happen is
So-
going to happen.
I don't know if this was fake news or not because with AI, it
Yeah.
could be anything. I saw a pleading today that a motion was granted and it's for her to have to sell assets to satisfy the $25 million, which a trustee can do. A trustee can file a motion that in a Chapter 7 where you don't pay your debt back. A trustee can file a motion in the state of New Jersey for you to sell your house if
To
there's
settle.
Well, they
equity
already
in your
did that.
house. A
I mean, they already
trustee
did that.
can file those motions. So I did see a motion filed and granted today that she has to sell assets to satisfy this $25 million. But again, it could have been AI. I don't know if it's true or not. It's just, it's weird timing that it would just come out today, the day after the reunion.
Right, right.
So who knows
Could
if
have been
it's true.
clickbait. Yeah.
And anybody can put up a fake pleading.
Yeah, the interesting thing is I was listening to Sarah Fraser, and she has David Yontef on sometimes, and he was on. He's a lawyer, but he's not practicing. He hasn't practiced in a long time, but he's also friends with Ronald Rogers. I don't know if you remember that attorney's name. He was the one who bought Erika's diamond earrings and was all involved in the case and was all involved in this whole, very involved in it. And what they were saying, and actually David didn't even understand it. He said, I'm going to have to talk to my attorney about it because I've never heard of this. What he was saying is the $25 million judgment that the trustees sold it for $2 million. So they're going to get $2 million, and then that's going to get divided. And then that person that bought it for the $2 million can then try and go after it and get more. And if they get more, they get more. And I was like, that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. A trustee can't sell a settlement.
Well,
that makes zero sense.
That's what I thought. I don't know. It's something I think maybe we can look into.
Other attorneys, I believe, yes. But a U.S. trustee, I don't know if that's true. I'll ask my boss.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah,
what the trustees are trying to recover is for the victims. It's not like the trustees will get paid a fee because they always pay themselves first. Trust me.
Of course.
But they are trying to recover for the victims. So for them to negotiate a lower, that doesn't make any sense. But who knows?
Then it goes into, after Andy brings up all this about the court, that's when he says to Dorit, how could you say to Erika you didn't know what she was going through? And then, we just said Erika really did give her grace and didn't go after her. But I also thought she was very vulnerable at that point. She said, the reason this hurts me, Erika said this, is because I love you. Like, it hurts me that you, and I do think that Erika and Dorit had a true friendship. I do. More so than
those
Kyle
two are
and
gonna
Dorit.
be okay. Yeah.
I don't.
I think that
don't.
Erika and Dorit are going to be okay.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, because I hope that Erika sees everybody online. Like, we've watched this show for a long time. We saw you act horribly when you were going through what you were going through. And I think that Erika needs to be reminded of that. And I'm not trying to be negative towards Erika. I think she's had a great redemption, and I wish nothing but the best for her. But I think personally, Dorit and Erika are going to mend their friendship. I think Kyle needs to be out of the picture, though, for that to happen. So hopefully it happens in the off season.
Well, I did hear an interview where Erika said that her issues, maybe it was on Watch What Happens Live, with Dorit are separate from Kyle's issues with Dorit, and that they should be handled separately, which I totally agree. I totally agree with that,
Yeah, if Dorit saying, have you been going through something, that's enough for somebody to be pissed off at a friend. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
Right.
You think this has been a cakewalk, what I've been going through?
Right. Erika's been in her relationship for 9 months with G.I. They were calling him G.I. Joe, but his name is John. So, yeah, G.I. John. And her son has met him, and she said that he's probably more in love with him than I could ever be, which I thought was so funny.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, I thought so. And then he goes into the Dorit. Dorit last year ironically dragged a cigarette, but this season her friends warned her against dragging PK too hard in the public. As Dorit sought to be unburdened financially via exciting new book deal, she couldn't help but feel like Kyle was reading right from PK's playbook. I'm like, okay. And then they show all the scenes, between those guys. And
so,
Dorit,
Wendy, something else you probably didn't see, because I think it was only on Peacock, was earlier when they were talking about when they first brought up Kyle and Dorit and Mo and PK. They brought up the fact that Mo defended PK for drinking again. Did you see that? Any of that?
No. No, I
I think
didn't.
this was only on Peacock. Kyle and Erika were kind of like, well, that's what guys do, right, Laura?
Mm-hmm.
Like they were kind of defending the behavior, but Dorit was like, he didn't just stop drinking for a year for the hell of it.
Right. He
Like
stopped because he had an issue.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And Maurizio, and they flash back to him saying like, yeah, we drink together when we go out. Not that it's Maurizio's responsibility to police PK on his drinking, but he was defending him. And then Kyle and Erika were kind of playing it off like, well, that's just what guys do, which that's fine. There's nothing wrong with them saying that either. But
Right.
that was
Yeah, no,
on
that wasn't
Peacock.
on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
Now, did anybody notice during the reunion, then they're flashing back to like the picture of all of them holding their diamonds? Amanda looks like she's going to topple over. It's the
no, I
oddest
didn't
thing.
notice that.
You gotta
I
look
didn't
at
notice
it.
it
You gotta
either.
look at it.
She must have been holding the biggest diamond of
She
all
was
of them.
she's at the end, and she's like holding it like I'm like, what are you doing? You have to look at it and let me know what you think. I was
Yeah,
just
And
we
they
like,
gotta
kept
what's going
flashing
on?
to it? They kept
Yeah.
flashing to it?
They would show you like the thing, with them all standing there, and I'm like, what's wrong with her? I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what was going on.
She had the biggest diamond.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, and that's it.
So this is when Dorit says that PK was sending her text messages, basically telling her what she was doing on the season.
Mhm.
While it was going on.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's not a good look for Kyle because there's
And
no
that
way
he was
in
getting
hell
the
anybody else was
information.
doing it.
Mhm.
Right, from Mo. Yeah, that we didn't see that. I didn't see that. And then, they show the footage where Rachel told Kyle in the Hamptons. Then she asked each and every one of them, "Did you say this? Did you?" And Kyle at this point said, I already told you I misspoke with that word. She apologized for using the word erratic. I related it to my experience when I was going through and, how I felt after my separation and my OCD and my ADHD, and I was all over the place and I was working out a lot and I was scattered. That's what I was relating it to. I wasn't, and I didn't mean to say that word, like she said it again. And then Dorit said, well, it became a big, huge thing, Kyle. Again, Kyle was apologizing for it. And then she went on to say, Dorit goes, and she like sticks her finger in her face. Let's stick to one thing. And I was like, okay, we're going to get to something good. And that's when she said, I spent $4,000 in one of Rachel's friend's store. Again, like they never even finished that. Like nothing she said ever got finished. No. She went on to give her side of it. It was Rachel's friend's store. They closed the store. Nobody else bought anything. It was only $4,000. I'm being judged. And that's when Kyle made the comment, well, my financial situation is different than yours, which was not a nice comment.
And
It's
you know
true.
what?
I mean, it is true, but it's
It
still
is
not
true.
nice.
It is true, and it's still not nice. And then that's when she's like, well, how would you know what my financial situation is? And then Erika said, well, the house is being foreclosed on. I mean,
Right.
everyone knows
That
what your
just mean-
financial
that just means
situation
you're
is.
not paying the mortgage.
Yes,
If I
but
weren't
this
paying
was-
my mortgage, I could go drop $4,000 somewhere in a store too.
But that's
Yep.
what I was saying to you guys earlier. The way that we look at financial things is not how big money people look at financial things. They just don't. Everything's in trusts, everything's in LLCs. Bankruptcy is not a big deal. I mean, there's all these different things ways that you set yourself up so that stuff like that doesn't really touch you.
Right.
To us,
And,
it seems like
listen,
a big thing, but it's not to
What
them.
Dorit said to Kyle is so true. Like, I hope you never have to worry about this because right now, Kyle is in a very cushy position. Yes, the money is flowing. She and Mo are on great terms,
hmm
but that's a temporary situation. You're either going to stay married or you're going to get divorced. Anything could happen to this business. Real estate's a very objective, it's ebbs and flows.
And
I think
they
he's
have,
got enough of the
production-
world covered with offices where he should probably be okay.
But they
But-
have production companies also, correct? And I've read some things that he overextended a lot to have all those, all those offices all over the world.
Well, there
So-
were also lawsuits during COVID when he took PPE loans
Right.
and
I'm
was
just saying,
questioned.
when
Yeah.
that stuff starts to slice and dice, that could get ugly.
That's what I'm saying. And so what Dorit said is true. Like, I hope you're never in this position where you could possibly have your soon-to-be ex scrutinizing you, and listen, I mean, I think we can all agree. I'm sure PK is telling Mo something very different than what's really going on. He's a loser. He's always been a loser. He's a shisty McShyster. He's not paying the mortgage. But I'm sure he's telling Maurizio that he is paying the mortgage,
Right. All kinds of stuff.
and that's okay. That's your friend. But he just doesn't seem like a very nice guy. And he certainly doesn't seem like the type of guy that you want to go to divorce court with.
No.
Well, the Bravo docket broke down a bunch of the PK lawsuits. PK's been involved in so many lawsuits, it's not even funny. And a lot
This
of
is probably
his
the fifth
debt,
time they've done it, right?
I mean, there's been a
They've
several
had multiple episodes about him.
episodes. Yep. Most of his debt was from gambling. He's got gambling debt.
He's got big gambling.
He's
I
got
forgot
gambling
about
debt.
that.
Yes.
He owes
He's got
Vegas
gambling
Casino
debt.
tons of money.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And
I forgot about that.
the thing with Dorit was just last reunion, it came up about the house in pre-foreclosure. And she said, okay, PK's taking care of it. Okay, so then you let the same thing happen a year later? Come on. You had the conversation with Amanda where you said you don't know. But then you got insulted when she said you should know what's going on. And you said you had all these businesses and you helped them build it up. Well, which is it, Dorit? Do you know what's going on with your finances? Or do you not know what's going on in your finances? Did you build a business? Did you help him build a business? How can you claim both sides? You can't.
Right. Yeah.
You can't.
And you live in the house where the foreclosure notices, pre-foreclosure notices are going to be
They're
mailed
coming
to.
your way. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what they look like, when you get.
She's just as shisty McShisty as he is what I'm saying. You can't say you don't
I'm sure
know.
you're right. Yep.
You can't say you don't know when it just happened last year. And then when someone calls you out on it, oh, well, I helped him this business. He was bankrupt when I met him. I did this. I did that. Everything was in my name. I know. Oh, okay. And then you know nothing? When everything's good, you know, but when things are bad, you choose not to know? Come on. Give me a break. Like, Dorit isn't. No. Dorit, no. Sorry, Dorit. I don't believe it. And, Erika, again, was trying to give her good advice. And she wasn't listening to it. She's like,
She's not going to listen to anything Kyle or Erika have to say right now.
It wasn't
She's
Kyle, it
just
was
not.
Erika. Yeah. Erika's like, well, maybe you could downsize. She's like, it's not about staying in the house. Like, I believed he was paying the mortgage, which is wrong. So now I'm blindsided. Come on. And then she's like, but Erika's like, but what if he doesn't get you up to date? Like, you need to have another plan. Trying to get her to think ahead. She wasn't having it.
She said something. She was like, I know what I have to do, or something like that.
Yeah. Her exact words said, I know exactly what I have to do, is what she said.
It was snarky. It was definitely snarky. Yeah.
So then Andy said, even before this news, people were shocked and concerned about your lack of knowledge on your finances. And Dorit said, oh, I want to clear this up. And then she brings up the statement that Amanda made about the financial well-being outsourced to a man that didn't go well. She never cleared it up. She just brought up something else. She didn't clear it up.
No, she didn't.
And Amanda apologized.
Well, wait, Dorit? Well, she said when I met him, he had just gotten out of a bankruptcy.
Right. And that's what Wendy's saying, that then Dorit goes and says, I helped him build the businesses up and blah, blah, blah. And that's why Wendy's saying.
Right. And then she turns around and says, I don't know what's going on.
I didn't know.
Right. Talk out both sides of your ass.
Yes. Yes.
Which is it?
Yes.
Which is it?
Right. Well, she clearly likes to play the victim.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which is probably what Kyle's biggest issue is with her.
Now,
Like,
wasn't there something on a past issue? I saw a social media post about this. That one time they were asking, like, who could be your pass? And
Hall pass?
Maurizio said
No.
Dorit.
It was,
somebody
I think it was,
asked him.
it was which housewife besides yours?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what she's saying.
And he said,
yeah.
Dorit. Yeah, it wasn't it wasn't like a hall pass. It was like specifically a housewife.
If you could,
Specifically a housewife.
if you could sleep with any of the other wives, which one would it be? And he did say Dorit.
I'm just going to say that couldn't have sat well.
I mean, I don't know, but here's the thing. If my husband said that about somebody, I wouldn't think twice about it. But if your husband has a history of cheating on you, which I
Then
think
you
we can
think a
all
lot
admit
more
now that
about it,
Maurizio did,
Right.
it's not going to sit well with you.
Right.
Yeah. But somebody who doesn't have a history of cheating, you'd be like,
Right.
"Oh,
It hits different. Right.
It's
Yeah,
a
I
throwaway.
mean,
Yeah, it's just a throwaway comment.
I joke around with our friend Frank all the time that we're each other's backup if anything happens to our spouses.
Right. There you go.
We probably shouldn't do that.
I know.
They don't keep in mind, though.
Yeah.
So then she says, right now it's going good with PK. Since the kids' birthday parties, in this present moment, it's going good. Okay, good. So then we move on to Amanda. And then we don't have much time because it's almost an hour. But the whole Amanda conversation about the emasculating, she could not own one single part of it. She could not own anything of it. Everything she does is perfect. And her husband is fine without any balls. He doesn't need them. He tells me every night in bed.
Felt like Erika was so, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, like eloquent for sure, but like
she was
kind.
She was speaking from her heart.
Very meaningful. Like
years of wisdom.
Think it now,
right?
But
right.
What you're saying, like where Rachel was saying, like you're emasculating him, like that's not going to land with Amanda. But what Erika was saying was like these little things you don't realize can fester. So everything's great now. One day, everything's not going to be great.
Not going to be great because that's how life is.
And these little things are going to grow and grow and grow. She's so right. She's so fucking right, Erika. Like
she called them seeds, and then they're going to flower.
Yes. I mean, think about your marriage.
Yeah.
Like, of course, everything's beautiful and rainbow and lollipops in the beginning. It's not now. And every little thing annoys the shit out of you.
Right. Wait till you're 30, 40 years down the line, and then we'll see how your fucking rainbows and unicorns doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of work, and it's not just this happy-go-lucky thing. And I think that a lot of times, especially women of Amanda's age, tend to think that women of our age are steeped in the ways of the patriarchy. And,
that's so true. It's
the
so true.
The whole thing. Meanwhile, no, we're Gen X. No. You know what I mean?
You don't F with us.
We just know when to let shit fly and when to bust your balls. We've been at this game for a long time. We know what we're doing. That's why she should really take a little more advice from these older women who have been through it. They're not all out there like, the poor man. That's not what they're saying. And that is not how Gen X women roll at all. No,
because even Sutton said, and I thought this was another perfect example. Sutton said, listen, like you can reverse it with me. Like, look at myself, like with my marriage. For 40-year-old me was married to this guy. We had children together. I did everything. We bought this house. If he spoke to me like that, like,
right.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if a man spoke to her or any woman like that and she just still didn't get it? Like it still didn't click.
Because you can be proud of yourself without cutting somebody else down.
And you can empower other women without emasculating your husband on national television.
Right. And that emasculation has nothing to do with the old ways of patriarchy. No, it should be a common sense thing. Like
it's respect.
You don't want a guy to make you feel like shit.
Right.
So why would you say things and girl, he's lying to you. He's lying to you that it don't bother him. He's lying.
That's right.
I don't give a shit.
I make half of what my husband makes. Half. That is
he's lying to you.
Ever thrown in my face.
No, never.
That would never fly in this house.
No, one has nothing. It just has nothing to do with nothing. It's a bunch
It
of
has
nonsense.
nothing to do with nothing. It's about a partnership. And, you
Absolutely.
know, even the whole thing with her coming on with the designer stuff when they tried to explain that to her. She didn't get that either. I thought that that's what this show is about. No, this show is not about that. And they pointed out to her, you said, make sure you get a
A
picture of my
shot of the
bag or make
bag.
sure a shot of my bag. Nobody has ever
You
said
know,
that in the history of Housewives, ever.
no. Well, not that we know of, but I kind of almost felt bad for her in that second. You're going to think I'm
Really?
crazy, but I feel like maybe in that moment when she did that, like, because listen, Jennifer Tilly's walking around with a $40,000 beaded, what was it that broke?
Bear bag.
Bear. I
Bear.
mean, come
It was crystal.
on.
Yeah.
Right.
So, production is focusing on that, zooming in on that. So maybe Amanda thought, well, here I am. I'm this young chick. I have this, motivational thing. Like, they're not going to think I can bring it like that. So maybe she was like, don't, make sure you get, like, I
Well,
have a Chanel bag. Like,
I
show my
think
Chanel
that,
bag.
but I think that the Chanel bag thing was when they were in Arizona and she was going to wear it hiking. And I
Right.
remember her thinking it was like a funny thing, like she was trying to be cute, that she was
Right.
hiking with her Chanel bag. But now, Erika says, you can't lead with that shit. We're too old and too experienced. But I'm not a big watcher of the show, but I have looked at some old episodes and watched social media posts. And when Erika came on the show, didn't she like fly her team first class and have glam, and it was all about her closet and about
The whole
Yes.
difference is she never mentioned this is the difference, and this is what I've said even between this and Potomac. In Beverly Hills, traditionally, they have the wealth, and you see it. Production puts what it costs on the screen. It is never verbalized. It is never verbalized what the prices are, ever on
No.
Beverly Hills.
No, not the prices.
Except for Dana Wilkie.
Erika-
Except for Dana Wilkie.
Except for Dana Wilkie. But Erika did do that. Yes, 100%.
Well, she did
took
do
them on a
that.
tour of her house, showed them her chapel. Yes, she 100% did that.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not
But that's but
Yes.
it was a
saying.
tour of her house. It wasn't here's one of my bags. I mean,
She
we've
wants to
seen
show her bag. Like when it comes down to it, you have something that you're proud of and you want to show it. I kind of felt bad for Amanda in that moment when they jumped on her about that. And I don't think Erika did it. Again, I thought Erika was great in that moment. Like, we don't want you to lead with that stuff. Yes, the nice things are nice. Yes, we're in Beverly
Right,
Hills
right.
and we're the wealthiest franchise. But show us who you are. But I also think, I feel like I'm defending Amanda a lot here, but I also think that Amanda had a hard time showing them any other side of her because Bose particularly was coming so hot for her and about her business. That
Right, so
she was
she felt
always
she
on
had
the
to defend
defense,
it, right,
always
that
had
she
the
was always
guard
on
up.
defense. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Dorit and Bose are kind of a dynamic duo. So you got beef with Dorit, now you got beef with Bose.
Right. And then she starts coming for your business and you're trying to defend it. And then everybody says, you don't talk about anything but your business. Well,
Right.
I wonder why. Kind of like,
Right.
Yeah.
But I thought Erika was great in that moment too.
yeah, I thought Erika did like the best on this reunion.
Yeah, she had
I
a
thought
great
she was-
reunion so far.
so
At least
far.
episode
So
one.
far, I agree. I agree. Like I said, I think Erika was fabulous this first part. I really do. And then it comes up about what Amanda had said about Bose in the vineyard, about her having the same type of business and hers was losing money and Amanda's was making money. And I mean, Amanda was adamant that Bose said it. Bose was adamant that she didn't say it. And
She
then they
did.
show the clip, and she did, just like the darn Pinocchio thing. Once again, like Bose doesn't quite remember what she said, but when we heard the whole thing and it was explained, it wasn't that she was losing money. It was that this was like a charitable, like a philanthropic that she does, so that other people that didn't have what she had can learn these skills. She wasn't
But
doing
she had
it
a
to make
nice
money.
amount of time to think about that
Oh, absolutely.
from the time she said it in the vineyard until the time she had to explain it on the reunion. She had
You
a
don't
nice
think
amount
she
of time
taught
to
at
think about
Harvard?
it.
You don't
No,
think
we're
she
not.
taught at
No,
Harvard
we're
for 3
not saying that.
semesters? Like,
I'm not saying
don't
she
think that-
didn't.
you don't think
But
that was
I'm
her
saying
intention with these
that
courses?
she could have been much more clear at the vineyard. She said, and I lose money on it. That's what she said.
Right.
But
so
she
that's
never,
how that's
unless
how Amanda
production
took it.
left that part out and we didn't
Right.
Well,
see
she
it.
said, I
No,
don't
no.
care if I make money. She said, I don't care if I make money. As a matter of fact, I lose money.
Okay.
The fact that she said, I
but
don't
she
care that I
didn't
make money.
She didn't go into depth like she did on the reunion. So they're coming hard for Amanda for not explaining herself for certain things throughout the season, but Bose just did the same thing.
Listen, I do not think Bose is innocent. I think that Bose, she'll stand hard, 10 toes down that she didn't say something. And then twice we got her.
Twice now, right? She's clearly
Right.
had.
So that's what I
2
mean.
times.
So she was like so adamant, like, no, I did not. I did not say that. No, I did not. She did say it. It needed a little bit more clarification. But like you said, she stood 10 toes down that she didn't say it. You said it.
Right.
Yep. You said
Absolutely.
it. You said it.
Yeah.
We'll see next time.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very good first episode, though. I mean,
No, I did
it gave
too.
us over an hour worth of content. That's crazy.
There you go.
Yeah, that is crazy. All right, so that's all we have then for Beverly Hills Reunion Part 1. So you're going to have to
Yep.
wait and tune in for Part 2 next week.
And then
Thank
we'll
you for
have part
watching and
3.
listening. And then Part 3.
I think this one deserves a part 3, though.
Yeah. All right. Bye.